Alrighty, guys, welcome back for week 2 of the mixing breakdowns. So this week, me and my friend Gio did a cover of "Young and Inspiring" by Underoath. Underoath. That's all I gotta say. Underoath is such a cool band. This is off their most popular album from 2004. You're only chasing or they're only chasing safety. This is a really fun song to do, and I love doing these songs with Gio because he has such a good voice for these songs. Like, his screams are just so good. Um, so, you know, it's a pleasure working with him, and of course, these songs are very fun to play. So, thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown on what my process is for doing these covers, and give you a little bit of a look into like how the original sounded and how we were able to like recreate it, all the signal chains and stuff. So let's see. First we're going to tackle his vocals, just dry, or not dry, but I guess we'll start from scratch with nothing on them, and then first I'll show you with all the effects and everything on it, and then show you before and after. So this is before.
So let's not even try. You're right.
Jeez. Just one more time.
So let's not even try. You're right. Let's blow it up and throw it out the.
All right. So if you take the effects off.
So let's not even try. You're right.
The biggest thing you hear is a volume difference. So if you look at the first, I'll just turn them all on, see what each one does. So we start off with the EQ.
So let's not even.
What I'm doing here, I have it cut around 70 to get all the low end frequencies out, 70 hertz. I have a very high boost around 10K to kind of bring his voice up front. A little bit around 4.5 boosted too, just to bring out a little bit more mid-range. Same deal around here to get a little bit more in your face, got a little bit of 1.5. Nothing down here in the low end. And then also something to note is that there's compression happening on this EQ before it hits the compressor it's going to. So the threshold's all the way down here for the gate. The gate's not on, but the threshold's down here to like 5 or so. It's a 5 ratio fast attack, and then here it's making sure that the compressor is on, and then you turn the other compressor on. This is the CLA 76, and get the input set straight 12 o'clock, output here. So let's see how it sounds with that on.
So let's not even try.
I mean, you can just hear the difference like between those two, where like it's on, it's off. So
let's not even try. You're right. Let's blow it up and throw it out the window. It's becoming oh so clear in my mind.
So basically, we have like a medium attack, fast release, hitting it like a 4 ratio. So not like the biggest. We're not hitting it super, super, super hard, but it's got a compressor on it. So it's just raising those vocals, making sure that the dynamics stay pretty much the same. So if there's quieter parts, louder parts, it's kind of like staying in the middle, and like generally like bringing up the volume. And then next in the chain, there's a de-esser. That's pretty self-explanatory. It just takes out that's like that. So
I've thought this thing through more like once or twice. I feel that this is my last request to
and
you.
such. And you turn on the side
Hold
version.
your breath, bottle it up and save it for the next one. It's safe to to say. We've been writing this all night. None of this will ever change your mind. It's never safe to rely on borrowed time. No, we're both undone. It's time to open up your eyes.
Just
Consequence.
add a little bit of gain to your voice, a little bit of saturation, like it's a little bit of warmth on the low end if you can hear it. The last thing I have is a limiter, the L1, just to kind of like tame it. So like it catches the peaks.
Consequence.
So it's just cutting off a little bit, like 3 to 4 dB, like, and it's only cutting off like where it's like a brick wall limiter where it's cutting it off right at the very top.
It's time to open up your eyes.
Like stops it right here. And that's mainly it for the vocals. It's going to a delay, I will say. I can turn it up and down in the mix so you can hear like what it's doing.
It's time to open up your eyes. Consequence. It's our need in times like this. Feeling
You hear how there's like a little
free
slapback.
is our.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of slapback there. So for delay, let's see, I'm using the Tile Dub 2. So one thing to note is that this is a kind of like a ping pong delay. So it's turning a mono signal into a stereo signal. So I have it left and right. Guess now I have it in left and right. And it's on different delays. So this is on like an eighth note delay, a quarter note delay. So that it's going to give it a little bit of a stereo effect. And then that's really it for the vocals. Then I'm going to move on to the bass, drums, and other stuff. All right, so now on to the drums, bass, guitar, keys, all that jazz. So for the drum kit, I'll pull it up. We're using Get Good Drums, One Kit Wonder Metal is the kit that we're using. It's a virtual drum kit. Get Good Drums is a company. They offer drum kits, drum grooves, MIDI packs. They have, a pack where you have IRs for cabs. I believe it's Cali cabs or something like that. Great company though. So those are the sounds for the drum.
So let's not even try. You're right.
Shoot. On its own, it doesn't sound like much, but you play it with the kit. The drums and bass sounds kind of rough on its own. Very distorted. But once you have it in with the guitars, it sits pretty nice in the mix. So on both of the guitars, it's using a BOD. This is the TSC Audio BOD Bass Overdrive. It's a free pedal or free plugin. I highly recommend it. Then just have another free amp sim, the Stevie T Gent God for the distortion on this one. And then one thing to note too is that it's being split. So this is just the high end. It's doing a high pass or a low cut. I mean, around 300 hertz. Then on the other side, on the low, you have the high cut around the same frequency, like 250 or so. So that way you're able to compress and distort the high end as well as compress without any distortion the low end. And then you can like blend them so you can have a certain sound for your high and a certain sound for your low end, and you can blend them so they're not like so the low end's not super distorted. It's not going to get really rumbly and in the way of everything else. Like guitaras. It would help if I had them even showing. So it's the same amp sim I had on the bass. It's the free one from I think this is ML Sound Labs. Had that pan left and right. Not all the way panned, but roughly like 90% on each side. And then for the lead guitar, same deal. Using the Stevie T amp. And then that's mainly it. There's like a little snare reverb on here. The guitar is going to a delay for the chorus at certain parts. Yeah, and then on the master bus, there's just a little EQ boosting on a high shelf a little bit of the high end, and then cutting out the lows. It's got a limiter on it, making sure it's not going over a set amount, and that's really it. Also, one thing to note too, if you compress your vocals too hard, or any audio signal for that fact, or you cut it off, like you limit it, and it's like it's hitting like you have a brick wall limiter on it, and it's hitting it, but it's not letting anything go over it. This is what it's gonna look like. The peaks are gonna be cut off, and you can tell the limiter was set around like -6 dB or so. So since it doesn't let anything over it, it cuts it kind of hard. So you want to make sure your signal when you're recording isn't too hot, or like your gain isn't set too high. This is just something that happened with us. That's on me. But, you live and you learn. So this is something I learned. But hopefully we're learning every day, Anywho, thanks for watching. And on next week, we're doing a static dress cover. So stay in tune for that. I'm almost done with finishing the entire album. So I'm very excited to kind of put it all together into one long video so I can get it out. And it's been a long, long time in the making, but thank you for watching, and let me know if there's anything I can improve on or anything else you'd like me to touch on in these videos. All right, peace.